Of all the ancient myths, the story of Narcissus and Echo is one that really sticks with you. It's just so beautiful and at the same time, so incredibly cruel. It's a story that makes you ask some big questions about love, about yourself, about rejection. So let's dive into this classic tragedy and see how a strange little warning about self-knowledge leads to absolute ruin.
So, our story kicks off with a really mysterious prophecy. The famous seer Tiresias gets asked a simple question: will the newborn baby Narcissus, who is unbelievably beautiful, live a long life? And his answer? Just these four Latin words. It's this cryptic, ominous warning that's going to hang over this kid's entire life.
And here's what it means. If he does not come to know himself, think about that. It's a riddle that for years nobody could figure out. But when the meaning finally became clear, well, it was in the most horrifying way you can imagine.
Right, so let's meet our guy. Narcissus was the son of a river god and a nymph, and he was legendarily beautiful right from birth. So beautiful, in fact, that his mom, Liriope, was actually worried. She goes to the seer, desperate to know her son's fate, and all she gets is that strange riddle about knowing yourself.
Okay, fast forward to when he's 16. Narcissus is at that perfect age, and he is drop-dead gorgeous. Everybody wants him. Young men, young women, you name it. But here's the catch. His heart is full of this cold, hard pride. He wants nothing to do with any of them. And that right there, that's the fatal flaw that really gets the prophecy rolling. So that's Narcissus. But this is a two-part tragedy. Let's talk about the other half of this story, the nymph, Echo. While Narcissus's whole deal is his image, Echo's is her voice. She falls head over heels for him, but she's trapped by this terrible curse that makes a real connection, well, basically impossible. See, Echo used to be a real chatterbox, and she used her gift for talking to help out her nymph friends. Whenever the goddess Juno came around looking for her cheating husband, Jupiter, Echo would trap her in these long, distracting conversations. But Juno figured it out, and her punishment was just so clever and so cruel. She didn't silence Echo completely, oh no. She twisted her greatest strength into her greatest weakness.
These are Juno's actual words, and you can just feel the spite. The curse is so specific. Echo can never ever start a conversation again. She's doomed to only repeat what others say. She becomes a reflection in sound, which is this perfect, terrible parallel to how Narcissus will become a prisoner of a reflection in sight. All right, so this is where their paths finally cross. Picture this. Narcissus is out hunting, and he gets separated from his buddies. And Echo, who is completely obsessed with him, sees her chance. She starts following him through the trees, just waiting for him to say the first word. So he's lost, and he calls out, "Is anyone here?" And from the forest, Echo's heart is just pounding, right? She can only repeat his last word, so she calls back, "Here!" He shouts, "Come!" And she eagerly replies, "Come!" You can feel her hope building. Finally, he yells, "Let us meet here!" And for Echo, this is it. This is the invitation she's been praying for. So she thinks he's finally calling for her. She joyfully runs out of the woods to throw her arms around him. But Narcissus? He's horrified. He recoils and yells these absolutely brutal words at her. It's just a moment of pure cruelty, and it doesn't just seal her fate, it seals his too. Can you even imagine? She is absolutely shattered. She runs away and hides in the loneliest places she can find. And her love doesn't just go away. It literally consumes her. The grief just wastes her body away until her skin shrivels up and there's nothing left but her voice and her bones. And eventually, even the bones turn to stone. She just becomes a sound. Now, Echo wasn't the only person Narcissus had been so cruel to. His pride had left a whole trail of broken hearts behind him. So the story swings back to him because a prayer for revenge is about to be answered. The curse is about to shift from the world of sound to the world of sight. One of the young men he'd rejected basically just throws his hands up to the sky and prays for this. He asks that Narcissus feels the exact same hopeless, unreturned love that he forces on everyone else. And the goddess of revenge, Nemesis, hears this and thinks, you know what? That sounds totally fair. The stage for his downfall is this perfect, untouched little spring. It's described as being crystal clear, like silver without a speck of mud. It's totally silent, completely still. It's a flawless mirror. And this is where Narcissus, tired from hunting, stops for a drink. As he leans over the water, he sees a face, and he's just stunned. He's instantly captivated, frozen on the spot by the sheer beauty of what he's looking at. Of course, he has no idea it's his own reflection. He just stares, completely motionless, like a perfect marble statue.
He's fallen completely in love with a shadow, with something that isn't even real. He wants himself, but he doesn't know it. The lover and the person being loved are one and the same. He's lighting a fire inside himself that is also at the same time burning him up. And it's torture, absolute torture. He tries to kiss the lips he sees, but he just gets a mouthful of water. He tries to wrap his arms around the neck he sees, and the image just disappears. He's separated from the love of his life by practically nothing, just a thin film of water. And that impossible closeness is what makes it unbearable.
And then it clicks. That horrible, dawning realization hits him. He finally understands. The reflection, it isn't somebody else. Iste ego sum. That is me. And in that one single moment, the prophecy is fulfilled. He has finally come to know himself.
And that's when he gets the awful, cruel paradox of his situation. The thing he wants most in the world is him. He possesses it completely, but he can never, ever have it. He has everything he could ever want, and that abundance has made him the poorest person in the world. So what now? He knows the truth, but he's completely trapped. He can't leave the spring, he can't have his love. All he can do is lie there, by the water's edge, literally wasting away from this impossible passion, as the story spirals to its tragic end.
And guess who's still there, watching from the trees? Echo. And even though she's still angry at him, she feels pity. As he cries out in his sorrow, alas, all she can do is repeat his pain back to him. Alas. His final word, whispered to his own reflection, is farewell. And Echo, in one last heartbreaking exchange, whispers it back. Farewell.
And with that, he lays his head on the grass, and he dies. But when his friends and family come to find his body for the funeral, it's gone. In the exact spot where he was lying, they find a single beautiful flower, the flower that to this day still has his name. So when you boil it all down, what you have are these two perfectly mirrored tragedies. Echo is cursed by Juno. Her tragedy is about communication, a stolen voice. She becomes a lingering sound. Narcissus is cursed by Nemesis. His tragedy is about perception, a captivating image, and he becomes a beautiful flower. One of sound, one of sight, both just eternal reminders of unrequited love.
Which brings us right back to that prophecy from the beginning. If he does not come to know himself, the whole tragedy of Narcissus is that he did come to know himself, and that knowledge became his prison. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When we look inward, how can we be sure we're finding real wisdom and not just getting trapped in a reflection we can't look away from?